Hello everyone, this is James Choi speaking. I would like to introduce to you the system overview for the brand new MiYO system. MiYO is a very unique system that was inspired by NSYNC Stain and Glaze Kit. The system includes 18 bottles in total, and it's broken into 3 different categories for use: translucent colors, opaque colors, and structured material. The translucent colorants add color and translucency without altering final value. Opacious colorants are used to create an effective contrast next to translucent colors. And the structure material. The kit includes 5 different kinds of structure. Unlike any other material that is out in the market today, this material is used to create lobes, edges, final form, even hyperfine surface texture like the paracomata, all during the wet stage, and bring the scattering effect of traditional ceramic to your monolithic restorations. This material brings freedom to the user to be creative and effective at the same time. With the MiYO system, our imagination is the only limit. This will be a short introduction of structure technique using MiYO system. It's very important to apply a thin layer of glaze liquid to allow the colors to flow and break the surface tension before any kind of application. Translucent clementine is applied in a dab and dragging motion near the gingiva region. Now this already creates a subtle contrast, almost making a brightening effect to the body 1/3 region. Translucent straw is applied. The application method is very close to paste opaque. Create that thickness with the material to have evenly colored zone. Always check your shade tab in all directions to eliminate possible optical illusions leading to a wrong target shade. Translucent storm is applied on the incisal 1/3 to create that low value canvas. Key to color application with MiYO is to really avoid having any kind of brush strokes on the surface. Always dab and drag the colorants. You could also create some subtle low value spots or bands according to what you see as your final target using translucent storm. Check the shade tabs again for target value before all the effects are applied. Now slightly intensify the mesial and the distal corners to mimic that transparent effect on natural teeth. Don't worry about puddling and spotting from all the color applications. This conventional issue we see today in monolithic restorations will be corrected with structure material and will add a blending effect of all colors, plus the scattering effect of a layered ceramic. Now here's mamelon coral. As you apply the mamelons, the layered look starts to really form. Starting off with mesial and the distal lobes, the mamelon structure on the mesial and the distal lobes usually looks similar to a reverse cone, and it's usually smooth in transition. The middle zone though are a bit of more of an irregular shape with same direction of the tooth. My halo effect is applied using halo spring in the MiYO system. To give you guys a small tip, halo usually follows the shape of the mamelons and wraps around the interproximal region. Dab and float the color to create the halo effect. After the halo effect is done, I will share a way to emphasize all the colors using stained linen and snow. Now fully taking advantage of contrast effects. Here I'm using stained linen to emphasize the contrast between the mamelons and the transparent corners. This starts to bring all the colors together on the incisal third region. Diffuse and mix the colors on one side and create a subtle blend. This will give a nice overall illusion of a layered ceramic restoration. Also add some spots for a stronger contrast. Creating a value difference near the border of gingival third and body third region to slightly bump up the contrast and value. You can also add some translucent bands or spots, but be careful not to go too intense. Being subtle is the most important thing next to contrast. Create that subtle barrier and add spots to achieve the depth that you're looking for. You can also add crack lines with ease without mixing colors. All the extra colors are added with contrast effects in mind. Once all the colors and effects are applied, I will set the stains here and fire to prepare for my structure material to go on top. I like to fire about 60 to 100 degrees lower to shorten the firing cycle to simply set the colors. Before the actual structure application, a very thin layer of glaze liquid is applied before the structure to help the material flow and adapt to the surface better. Make sure you mix very well and flatten the material out on your palette to create a homogeneous mixture. This material is very new and very different from what we've been seeing so far. So I believe it's very important to apply correctly as introduced in this video. On the brighter side though, the learning curve is drastically cut down compared to a normal layering material. Apply structure window starting with MiYO and the distal lobes, and then the middle. Spread them evenly. Try to create the same thickness on the whole labial surface and create your final form with your brush here. Spend some time here since there is no need for grinding after it's fired. Structure material will glaze with every bake. Now I can't forget to mention the freedom MiYO brings. You can grind on it like a traditional ceramic restorations if you want. You could fire it as many times as you want without altering final color and value. For your information, the material does shrink since it's ceramic based material, but the shrinkage is hyper minimal due to a very compact material, which brings all the advantages of a traditional ceramic into your monolithic restorations. As you see here, all my final form and surface texture will be formed prior to my structure firing cycle. You never have to worry about moisture control with MiYO. You can even have the material out in the open for several days and the moisture will still be apparent. Onto my final stage before firing my structure material. I usually flatten out my brush like a fan and create my final texture, my fine texture like your paracamata. If you're not happy with it, you can simply condense the material and start over again. To make my fine texture ever so slightly go over the surface to create your paracamata. Then I would add my incisal edge to mimic the adjacent tooth and add some sharp corners and the correct stop on the incisal edge. Once I'm done with my final form and my final texture, I fire the restoration. After it's fired, you can clearly see the blending and the scattering effect created from the structure material, and the correct reflection and texture I'm looking for without a touch of a diamond burr. Really, our imagination is the only limit with MiYO system. Welcome to MiYO.